welcome back to my channel. I am getting ready, all my favorite products here, so I'm gonna get ready for the day. And whilst I do that, I want to talk to you guys about harsh truths that I've had to accept in life. So let's do this. So what do we have first? And I've got a list of the truths that I've had to accept. I will also list all the products. Just do this part so I look alive. I always start with a little bit of this tinted sunscreen. It's a face cream in the shade Yogurt. It's skin and sea conscious, but basically I just put a bit of that on so that I've got an extra SPF before I do anything else. I do like a very light layer of it. Anyway, the first truth that we have that I've had to accept in life is that I've got on here, unfortunately, you have to fix your own life. And what I mean by that is no one is coming to save you. Yeah, one thing I've realized in life is you really do have to just save yourself. I don't think anyone is really coming around the corner to save us. I do believe that we come here alone on this journey of life. And obviously we're going to go alone at the end of it because we're all going. I know that's like a very morbid way to start the video, but it's true. People forget, like, we're not actually on this journey of this lifetime forever. And at one point or another, we are going to go. So I know that's wild, and maybe I'll do like a whole other video on that. But people take life so seriously and they forget that actually, this is like wild to say, but it's so true. Like, we are all dying. So you've got to, one, live like you're dying, but that's a whole different video. Nobody's coming to save you. We're born alone. I believe our soul incarnates here for a reason. I believe that we see our whole life before we actually come down here onto earth, where we've decided to incarnate in this lifetime. And I feel like we come alone. Yeah, you get born into a family and your mom and whatever, but you come alone, you do life, and you go alone, and ultimately your soul comes alone. And unless you're like really lucky and you die with your soulmate, like The Notebook, it's highly unlikely that you're going with someone. You're also going alone. It is a solo journey to a certain extent, and yeah, you're going to meet people along the way and stuff, but it's your responsibility to fulfill your journey on this earth as you want to, basically, because it's your journey. So I feel like with that comes the fact that no one is coming to save us, and that's a harsh truth that I've had to kind of accept. I feel like I've been there where I've thought, oh, my husband will save me, or my friends will save me, or, you know, my mum will save me. That person should be doing this. And I see it every day. Like, I'll see my friends and they'll hang out with me and they'll be like, oh, like, my parents should have done this, or my friend should have done this, or my boyfriend should have done this, my spouse, my partner. And they're like, why did they not fulfill this expectation? They don't really have to. So I think one thing is like, you do have to fix your life on your own. It's wholly and fully your responsibility to get your own life together, to be honest. You can have a boyfriend, you can have a parent, you can have a family member, you can have a best friend. They are also all on this journey doing their own life as well. So it's like, yeah, you can lean on people a little bit and they can help you a little bit here and there, but it is your responsibility to fix your own life. The second thing I have, and I've learned this the hard way, is discipline matters more than motivation. I am that girl that saves like a million things on Pinterest, a million things on Instagram, a million things on TikTok, and I'm like, I want this body, I want this, I want this, I want this, and like, I'll go into the folder and be like, okay, I'm pumped up, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna lift weights, I'm gonna eat healthy, I'm going to go out more, I'm gonna travel, and I'll like, yeah, it motivates me to a certain degree looking at those folders. And if I need like a spike or a quick lift me up and pick me up, I'll go in the folders. But honestly, guys, I've learned the hard way that that is just all talk and like a bit of fantasy without the discipline. I feel like the most important thing you can do is just be disciplined and consistent. And I think that really does matter more than the motivation or like the seeing someone else do it, because yeah, like, that is kind of like living in delusional land of being like, oh, I want to look like that. And yeah, we're like all into manifesting, and it's good to pick things out and be like, I want to manifest this, I want to manifest that. But it's no good if you're not going to actively work towards it every day. So I think discipline over motivation for sure. Then I've got blaming circumstances versus taking ownership. And I feel like as of late, I've seen so many people around me just blame their life on their circumstances. Oh, I was born into this. oh, this person's being horrible to me. Oh, I have this wrong with me. I don't have this. I don't have that. You can still make something of yourself when you have hardly anything. And I know that's tough to say. I've been on both ends of the spectrum where, yeah, I've got a lot and I've got a lot of tools, and with those tools I can make something of myself. But I've also been on the other side where I've really had nothing. I feel like I've made something out of nothing. You cannot keep blaming your situation, the cards that were dealt to you, what's happening right now, external factors basically, on getting to where you need to get. In this day and age, with everything we know about spirituality, everything we know about manifesting, everything we know about inner work, healing, vibrations, and all this stuff, there's literally no excuse. You can manifest something out of nothing, given that you have like the smallest amount of tools, just by visualizing it and doing the inner healing. There's no point in sitting there being like, oh, well, I had this childhood, so that's just blocked me from doing that. You're only ruining your own life by having that mentality, because actually, okay, you can sit in it and dwell on it and be like, oh, woe is me. I was born into this childhood, or this is wrong with me, or I have this. And you can just continue life like that, and that will be your life then. And if that's what you want and that's what you're willing to accept, then that's fine. I've been on like a really bad low in life, and this has happened to me multiple times. In my other videos, I talk about how I fall down and I get back up. And if I wanted to, I could just stay in that state of low and just be like, actually, I give up. Like, the whole world has gotten heavy. It's physically and like mentally and emotionally and spiritually way too much for me. I can't get up. And yeah, like I could have just stayed there and been like, yeah, like this is me done. But I'm like, no, like, let me try and make something out of nothing, really, because if I don't, then I'm only going to have myself to blame. I've seen people go through their whole life with a victim mindset, people that are way older than me, or my age or younger, and they've just had a victim mindset. And years and years and years of their life has just been shaved off by just feeling sorry for themselves. And then you'll see someone else that sees the glass half full, and they might even have less, and they build so much for themselves. And it might not be as much as like the person down the road or someone else, because comparison's not helpful. It's the most that you could have made out of your life, and for that you should be really proud of yourself. So, you know, we're all dealt a hand of cards when we're born, and you've just got to make the most out of what you've been given, to be honest. I think blaming your circumstances versus taking ownership is just literally a waste of your own life. It's not going to affect anyone but you, which is really sad, because everyone else is getting on with their lives, so it's literally you that's taking a hit. Anyway, then I believe that you act first and then confidence follows. I don't think you wait to get confident and then you start acting. There's not going to be a moment where you're like, I'm confident now, I watched this movie, or I hung out with this person, or I read this speech and now I'm confident. I believe that confidence comes from action. So you've got to be trembling, you could be anxious, you could be like, I'm not physically able to leave the house, I can't do this, I'm a mess, and you have to push yourself to do it. Once you've done it, whether it be the smallest thing like going and getting a coffee, going for a walk, leaving your apartment, or something bigger like, for me, for example, doing a big shoot, walking into the unknown and not even knowing what kind of shoot I'm going to be going into or what they're going to require of me, traveling and moving my whole life to another country like I have. There's going to be so many things that are going to come with that are complicated, that are also amazing, but it's the unknown. You have to give yourself that push into the unknown for then you to wear the badge of confidence and be like, I'm a confident person. I've done this, 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 and this. But that confidence doesn't really come without the action first. So I think the point I'm trying to make is you act first and then confidence follows. Then we've got trying to be liked equals losing yourself. The older I get, the more I'm like, I'll just walk into rooms, instead of when I was younger and I used to be like, oh, I wonder if this person likes me. Are they going to like me? Does this person like me? You know, am I going to make friends? Am I annoying? Did I say the wrong thing? Versus now, where I've kind of worked on myself so much, I've done the inner work, the inner healing, and I'm like, script has completely flipped, and I'm at a point where I walk into a room and I think, do I like these people? Do I like you? Do I feel safe in your energy? Is this person not so much going to add value to my life, because not everyone's there to add value. It can just be whatever, like a nothing relationship, I walk in now thinking, not are you good enough for me, but kind of like, do I want to be around you? Because I know now I like myself so much that I'm like, who do I feel safe enough to give my energy to? So the script has completely flipped, where before I used to be trying to impress people and wanting everyone to like me, to now where I'm like, trying to be liked equals losing myself. I'm like, do I like you? Do I want to give you my energy? And I think that goes into my next point, which is friendships fade, outgrowing people is normal. And I feel like I just have gone to a point where I understand that life is, I don't know, like people come and people go. I think it's totally normal to outgrow people. I think certain people come in on your journey at that time because maybe that's where you were vibrating, whether it be low, medium, high, and then you attract people on that level. It might be lessons that you had to learn. It might be karma that you owed those people. It might be something that you had to gain from that or take away from it. It could be anything. But once that's kind of expired, I truly believe that you don't really see those people again, or your vibration is just so unmatched that they just slowly fall away. And that's something that I'm like so totally at this point of my life comfortable with. We're kind of on a journey of ourselves alone. So there will be obviously people that are going to be there for the entire journey with you. I know I've got a couple of my friends that I'm 100% gonna grow old with, and we're gonna be in each other's lives forever. It's okay, like, to outgrow people. It's okay for friendships to expire, but that is something I've seen that a lot of people do actually struggle with. Then I've got your daily routine equals your results, and it's so true. I feel like it goes back to the whole point that I was saying about motivation. If you don't have a really good routine and you're not being consistent with your routine and doing things over and over again that you know are going to benefit you, then yeah, things are just going to kind of collapse. I do think that your success and whatever you're trying to achieve, your achievements, it's all in your daily routine. There will always be somebody better. And it's so true. You are never, ever, 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 ever going to be perfect. You are never going to be 100% perfect, because once you have reached the level of perfection in like a microsecond where you think everything is perfect, you'll turn a corner and there'll be someone more perfect than you. Or one person will have better hair, then you'll turn the next corner, and that person that had the better hair might not have had as nice of a face of what you think is a nice face, but then you'll turn another corner and that person has a nicer face. So now you've got one person with nicer hair, one person with a nicer face. You turn another corner, one person with an even better body. There's always going to be things where people are better than you. So it doesn't exist to be perfect. I don't think that you are ever going to be the best of an all-rounder, because we're not AI. We're not a robot. We're humans. We're supposed to be having a human experience. We're supposed to embrace all our imperfections. And yeah, this striving for perfection, which happens a lot in women, I would say more, because of the way that our psyche is programmed from being kids. It's really crazy because you'll just always be chasing and chasing and chasing, and you'll never, ever, ever really achieve full perfection. And there's always going to be someone better than you, whether they're better in their career, the way they speak, their looks, their partner, their house. Like, there's always going to be someone better. So you've just got to embrace where you are and who you are, to be honest. Then I've got social media makes things worse. It's so true. Oh my God, social media, literally, I think, unless you're consuming like good content where people are actually helping you, I just feel like this thing of going on social media and everybody showing that everything's amazing in their life literally makes things worse. Unless you are in a really good mindset where you're in the mood to be inspired, you're really comfortable and confident in yourself, then yeah, it can be there as inspiration. But most of the time, it's just breeding comparison, and that is not good. So yeah, I think social media does make things worse. Then I've got trade-offs are real. That's another thing that I've had to accept in life, which is tough because I kind of want to do everything and all at once. But I've accepted that trade-offs are actually real. So for example, if we look at what I'm doing right now, I guess like I'm focusing more on my YouTube channel. So I guess in this situation right now, the trade-off that I have is I'm putting more energy and effort into this at this period of time because I'm trying to bulk up and film a load of videos so that I can post them every Friday. But whilst doing that, I've had to pay less attention to modeling. I could be doing shoots and even doing unpaid test shoots and things like that to create content for my social media. Could be hanging out with friends and catching up with people that I haven't seen in years here in Bombay. I could be watching a TV show. Instead, I'm here doing my makeup, sat here with you guys filming this. So that for me, the focus of YouTube right now over other things is a trade-off. Because if I had a shoot today, there's no way I would fit in filming and be able to actually sit here, edit and upload this onto my YouTube channel, because it takes hours and hours to actually do this. It's a trade-off, you know, and trade-offs are real. If you want to focus on your body, then you might have to spend 8 weeks just focusing on your body instead of learning a new language, for example, or renovating your house, because all your stuff will be all over the place. And you might just be like, actually, these couple of months, I just want to focus on building my body, trade things off. Another thing I've got is everyone is focused on themselves. I feel like I do get anxiety sometimes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I walk into a restaurant and I'm like, everyone's looking, or this person's this, or they're watching me eat, or whatever. And I really do have to remind myself that people, yeah, they might look for a split second. They might be like, ooh, who's that? Or do I recognize that person? But generally, 9 times out of 10, everybody's focused on themselves. Everybody is living their own life. Everybody in this lifetime, everyone you see around you is a main character in their own movie. So you might be a side character in somebody's film, but trust me, it's a hard hit to the ego. But actually, everybody's a main character in their own life. So people are well and truly focused on themselves. That fact should take a lot of the pressure away. But also, it just reminds you to just live your life too and be the main character of your own movie, because everybody else is. No one cares as much as you think they do. People have their own problems, their own parents, their own relationship issues, their own career goals. Nobody's going to give that much attention to one other person. People have their own life. So yeah, that helped me a lot. I've got, you can be talented and still go nowhere. I saw this in school. I saw like people that were really, really smart. Generally, I was always pretty much the top of my class, except for maths. I wasn't that great at maths. I think I was like in the 2nd or 3rd set, but all the other subjects I was top of my class. So I did see the really, really smart kids at school, and I was around them a lot. And I've seen so many kids that went to my school that were super, super smart. Yeah, you can be super smart, but unless you have life skills and people skills, communication skills, and you're street smart and you actually know how to maneuver through life. So I think you can have talent and still not go anywhere. So it's important to learn other skills to get far in life. And then I think my last 3 points are boundaries matter. It's so important to protect yourself, protect your energy. And like I said earlier on in the video, think who's good enough to be in my life and who's good enough to have my energy if you've worked on yourself and you feel like you're a really good person or anything. Everyone, even if you're not and you've still got things to work on, that's totally fine, because like I said, nobody's perfect, but just think, who do I want to be around, because energy is so important. And then I've got, don't have any expectations and then everything is a whim. I think one thing, probably the biggest lesson I've ever had to learn in this lifetime, is to not expect anything from anyone. Just expect nothing, and then anything you get on top of that is a win. Yeah, like eventually there will be people that you can probably lean on, but don't lean on them with the expectation that they are going to be there for you or save you. For example, if I'm going through a crisis and I call one of my friends, if they pick up and they can help me through that, it's a bonus. But I don't kick off after thinking, oh my God, like they were not there for me, they're such a bad friend, because that's a huge expectation you're putting on the person and the situation. And you can be really disappointed. So really and truly, that's then your own fault, because you've done that to yourself by having that huge expectation. That's not the person's fault for not fulfilling it. They've got their own life and their own things to focus on. That's your fault for setting yourself up because you had such a huge expectation. This rule I carry through everything, through all my relationships and all my experiences, shoots, travel, living, everything. I'm like, I don't expect this to be the best thing in the world. However, if it is, which like I could try and manifest for it to be, which is great to do without having so much of an emotional attachment, then you're like, oh my God, amazing, this worked out so good. It's nice to just go through life like that, because then things don't get messy and you don't get really disappointed. And then talking of messy, my last point is start a mess. It's part of the process. The best example I can give to this is probably my content. I do not love my content. I feel like my content has been very messy over the years, and sometimes I just post things and I'm like, what am I doing? I went through a whole phase where I just posted just for the sake of posting to build consistency in my own mind and learn that skill. And then I was like, then I'll refine and make sure my content is like really good. For example, with my YouTube channel, if you go back to like my old videos years ago, it was a mess. And then I had this camera, and then I had that camera, and then I changed this, and then I got a microphone. And then I've like built to the point where one day maybe I'll be happy and be like, oh, like things look really good. And I'm really getting that. Like I'm looking at this with the camera and the microphone and everything, and I'm like, oh, like I'm happy. But this was a process to get to the point where I'm really happy, and I'm sure I'll tweak other things and it will just get better and better and better. But at least I just started, because you can't expect everything to be perfect the first time you do something. You have to kind of just start messy, but just start, build, and then things will get better. And then years will pass and you would have perfected what you once started that was a mess, and it won't be a mess anymore. So yeah, these are some of the harsh truths I've had to accept in life. This was like a bit full on. I hope you guys don't feel like I was shouting at you. These are harsh truths that I've had to accept in life, and they really have made me a better, more well-rounded person. And yeah, it's just really cool to learn these lessons, to even be here. I'm really grateful to be here on earth too. That's so deep, but it's so true. Like just to be having this experience and even get the opportunity to learn these lessons, grow, evolve, and become a better person. So yeah, that's me done for the day. I am now gonna go and get on with things that I need to do for the rest of the day, and I will see you guys in my next video.